Welcome back, everyone. We certainly hope that your time was meaningful and substantive for the days in which we've been meeting. We're delighted that we've had this space. And from what I gleaned from both of the breakaways, they certainly were that substantive and very meaningful. We want to hear now just a brief reflection from each of the moderators. We're going to invite Dr. Moyo in this moment to give just a very brief reflection of what was discussed, just a few of the highlights, and then we'll go straight on to the next moderator, please. Dr. Moyo, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our session was under the theme of a critical assessment of multilateral international organizations and equitable international governance architecture. And we had really great speakers, Amara Enya and Michael McHrand and Ibo Mandaza. And each one of them actually brought in very important aspects of this whole question of the Pan-African agenda and how advocacy and how to advocate for it. For Amara, she raised up the issues of the importance of amplifying the voices and aligning the agenda and the whole question of advocacy for rights, how to work out all these at different levels of the platforms. And Michael brought up the whole reality that there is really, when you look at the institutions as well as the states, equitability is not really there. And also the dwindling funds when it comes to the support for civil society voices. This is just really brief because there was a richness of what they presented. And Professor Ibo Mandaz actually brought us back into the story of the whole Pan-African history and the whole question of the gaps that have been there between the ideology, the political and economic Pan-Africanism as an ideology as well as a political and economic movement, and the whole question of tokenism that he has always been at play when it comes to Africa's participation. But also he has emphasized on the importance of institutionalization of the Pan-Africanism. Like if we really are serious about it, we really need to have that kind of organized kind of to work at implementation and having the institution that drives the agenda rather than just leaving it at the mercy of well-wishers. Yeah, but it was very rich, but there wasn't enough time to engage deeper. Yeah.
No, this is part of the problem we have. We don't have enough time, but we're thankful for the discussion and what you have shared. And if you don't mind, maybe if you could put some notes, just send to me, then we can have those for the process leading to the Declaration Manifesto. I'd like to turn over to Reverend Chakani to say a few words about the other breakout, and if the moderator might join him to briefly reflect on what happened in the other breakaway, please, for a few moments. Thank you.
Yeah. If Professor Van Niekerk, can't we get him on board?
I don't see him at the moment. That's why I went to you.
Not in the list. Yeah. No, I mean I can try. The discussion was very rich. The presentations were powerful. There was a little bit of language and translation, but that was also resolved in the process. And I think it will be important for the presentations to be put in the website because they were so important in their own right, rather than summarize them here. But indeed, there was a recognition that there have been efforts in the past to create networks and initiatives to bring Africans and the diaspora together. And in some instances, it was more at heads of state levels and government. And when they leave office, the project dies. So we need to find a way in which we establish such entities in a way that will make them sustainable. And Professor Adebayo emphasized the issue about having a political project that's very clear about what you need to achieve so that we are around that political project. And so because of time, it was proposed that we consider exploring the establishment of such a global Pan-African network by consulting with various entities, those which are in existence, specialized in different areas, and spend a year or so doing that, so that by the time, and they refer to many other entities, by the time we come together, we would be able to say, this is possible. In some of the questions they said, who is absent here? Because that's the question we must ask before we do establish such a network. And then the language issue was raised as a major issue that for Latin America, the speaker said for the first time he has gone into a meeting where it's not just English, he can get Portuguese, and that they were not getting, and that inhibits creating relationships and a network that's sustainable. I think I've tried my best to summarize it. Professor Van Niekerk could have done better. Thank you.
No, thank you, Reverend Chikani. Friends, we're at the end of our time, and just know that, again, the chat, the notes will go into this process leading to a declaration manifesto that we will further discuss on Friday. And so we need to be always thinking in that regard. For tomorrow, we move from multilateralism to the theme of economic liberation, climate change, and climate justice, and an equitable international order. Tomorrow, we will have keynote speakers who are speaking into this space. Some of you will know that the Glasgow, Scotland meeting is happening in next month, COP26. So for us to have that conversation and around the economics of our liberation, not just the politics of our liberation, will be key as we think about a new equitable international order that takes seriously the fourth industrial revolution, which is, of course, the digital technology revolution. So moving forward, transitioning in that direction, built on what we've had for these past days into our future together. I know you won't want to miss it. I think it will be great. It will be substantive. We have outstanding experts and speakers to lead our conversation. So we thank you for joining us today. We thank you for those of you who are on this journey. To all of the speakers, the moderators today, we thank you. And we really appreciate the heart and the passion that's been brought into this space. So without further ado, please have a beautiful day, whatever is remaining for you. And we see you on tomorrow for the themes moving ahead around climate, climate justice, climate change, a new equitable order, and of course, that very important piece from the Manchester Conference, economic liberation. We see you tomorrow. God bless you. Thanks again to everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
we are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know we will get there. Boom, boom, ti-boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, ti-boom, boom, boom. We will